There are nights when silence speaks louder than every word ever said, when stillness holds answers that questions could never find. Tonight was one of those nights. I sat beneath the open sky, where stars shimmered, like scattered memories, each one a story, each one a lesson. The moon hung low, its light soft and patient, as if it too was listening to the rhythm of my heart. And in that rhythm, I found something I had lost long ago: stillness. Not the kind that comes from emptiness, but the kind that blooms after a long storm, when the air is finally clear and the soul can breathe again. Oh, you who once walked beside me through fire and shadow, I think of you sometimes, not with ache, but with quiet gratitude. You taught me that love is not always meant to last forever. Sometimes it comes only to awaken the parts of us that were asleep. I used to search for meaning in the leaving. Now I see it in the staying, in how I stayed standing, in how my heart refused to close, even when the world seemed to turn away. That is love too, the kind that grows inward, rooted in self-respect, fed by silence, watered by patience. The desert wind rose slowly, tracing my face like a whisper, as if it carried messages from every chapter I had already lived. Each grain of sand beneath me felt like a witness to how far I had come. Because healing isn't a destination, it's a return to the heart that never stopped believing, even when it was breaking. There was a time when I feared solitude. Now I see it as the purest form of company, a place where the soul can finally hear its own voice. And that voice said, "You are no longer waiting. You are becoming light. Where there was once longing, becoming peace. Where there was once pain, becoming truth. Where there was once only hope." I looked at the horizon, where the first blush of dawn was beginning to bloom. It wasn't loud. It wasn't dramatic. It was quiet. Like all things that are real, oh, you who live now only in my prayers, know this: I do not wish for return, only remembrance. For we are both travelers on different paths, yet guided by the same light. And maybe that's what love is. Not possession, but recognition. The knowing that someone's soul once walked close enough to touch your own, and that touch changed everything. The wind grew softer, almost tender, as if blessing me for understanding at last what I had been meant to learn. I smiled, not because the story was over, but because it had finally become clear. The silence between heartbeats is not emptiness, it's peace. And within that peace, I rest, not in waiting, not in wanting, but in becoming all that I was meant to be. There are moments when the world softens, not because it has changed, but because you have. Tonight felt like one of those moments, a quiet shift, a gentle turning of something inside me. I walked along the dunes where the sand remembers every footstep, yet clings to none. The wind erased my trail as quick